Hello, y'all. Welcome to Finding Your Inner Peace and Tranquility radio podcast, and also my From Darkness to Light recovery channel as well, and also my The Old You versus the New You, and also um, From Darkness to Light radio podcast. These are all the podcasts that I'll be doing this episode. So I'm combining three podcasts into one episode. So it's gonna be on all three of those podcasts, and it might just be on two of them because I think another one I'm doing based upon something else. So we'll see. But I'm your host. Y'all know who I am by now. Thank you guys for joining me for this episode. If you guys like the commentary, please on YouTube hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive notifications of my video. If you guys like the commentary on Spreaker, please go to Spreaker.com/, find your inner peace and tranquility, the old you versus the new you radio podcast, and also From Darkness to Light radio podcast. And you can check out all of those episodes as well. A little about me: I'm a certified recovery life coach. It's all about helping people in their paths, their journeys, and their purpose to a new and better you through self discovery. I have 10 podcasts that basically deal with different versions of recovery and healing when it comes to spiritually, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, physically, when it comes to your overall health and wellness internally and externally, and also helping people when it comes to their healing, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to financial, when it comes to overcoming adversity, trauma, depression, anxiety, when it comes to following the rabbits down the rabbit hole and how to find your way out of the rabbit holes, but also making people have to take accountability and making people have to learn from their past in order to stop making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Now, today's episode, it hit me personally and it hit me last night. Before we get started, we're going to have to pray because this is really going to go really deep and it's really going to go spiritual. So, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for everything that you do for me and my audience every single day. We all are trying to be the best version of ourselves. There is so much going on in this world that is tainted, contaminated, and negative in this world that is causing a lot of problems for a lot of godly people. I ask that these episodes of these podcasts I do today, may they all hit each person in a spiritual way in order to be the best version of themselves, getting away from the secular world, getting away from what is society, and coming back to you, Heavenly Father. Thank you so much for all the blessings that you bestow on all of us. Thank you for showing me the way as far as my recovery, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, as well as financially, relationships, and my health and wellness internally and externally. May you protect and cover me as I do this spiritual podcast from negativity and negative spirits. May you cover my audience as they listen to this podcast, and may they all learn something to make them better versions of themselves and becoming more of godly people and being based upon your standards than based upon society standards. May through Jesus guidance, through Jesus leadership, through your guidance, show us the path that we're supposed to be on as people that are not supposed to be part of society standards. Thank you so much for living another day, breathing another day, and being thankful for everything that I have now. I appreciate everything you've given me, past, present, and future. And may you forgive all of our sins from our past up until today. For we are trying to be better people every day, learning and growing to being the best versions of ourselves. But at the same time, as we go through these journeys, we do make mistakes. May you continue to tell us when to sit still and when to move when it comes to getting away from negative people and negative situations. In Jesus' name, amen. I wanted to do that first. I wanted to pray first because I feel like it's important that I pray because you never know what negative spirits are going to come along. You never know what's going to impact and affect your life. So let's get started on the topic. The topic for today. Oh, before we get started on that, if anybody wants to be on my podcast as a guest, if anyone wants to send me emails as far as anything that you're going through, anything that you're dealing with, anything that you want me to talk about as far as topics based upon the podcast that you're listening to, if you're someone that is going through something where you feel like no one understands, no one believes in you, no one accepts you, if you're someone going through drugs, alcohol, codependency, if you're someone that's going through relationship issues as far as family, friends, romantic relationships, those of you going through financial struggles, those of you that are just feeling like there's just no way out, those of you that feel like you're being bullied and you're being harassed and threatened and stalked, and those of you going through domestic violence and health issues and things that make you feel like that there's just no way out or no solution, please email me. And if you want to do one-on-one coaching, then you can also email me at asha.mariama01. That's asha.mariama01 Now, how being alone helps you find yourself. Now, I found this quite fascinating when I heard this. And I heard this on TikTok. And when I heard this on TikTok, I was completely and utterly, it blew my mind, and I had to talk about it. Let me mute y'all for 1 second while I stop the video on my podcast. Hold on 1 second. And for those of y'all on the podcast, just hold on. I'm trying to click on something. Okay. I just want to make sure I can click on it. Okay. All right, y'all. I guess I didn't put y'all on hold. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and I'm going to let you listen to this, and I'm gonna break it down and why this is important. So give me 1 second, because a lot of y'all have been talking about being alone and how being alone is a scary thing. Being alone is not as scary as you think it is, but give me a second. I'm going to mute myself while I show this video, and then we're going to talk about it. So give me 1 second. Okay. Now, why is that important? Okay. Why is it important that you're alone? And why is being alone being told based upon society that it's a bad thing? That's my question, because a lot of people think that being alone means there's something wrong with you. Nobody likes you. Nobody appreciates you. Nobody values you. Nobody wants to be your friend. Um, the fact that you can't get a job, that is something you did wrong, or why is it that all these jobs are rejecting me for some reason? I don't understand why it is that every job that I went through, they didn't want to hire me. I went to the interview, I did good, I came in and I was, dressed up. I said everything that was right to say, and yet they went with another candidate. It ain't you. It ain't nothing that you did wrong. Why it is that when me and my girlfriends go out, or me and my homeboys go out, nobody wants to date me. Nobody asks for my phone number. Nobody wants to ask me out on dates. All men want to do is just have sex with me. All women do is use me for money. Guess what? It ain't you. You're not supposed to be around people that only want you for what you can do for them, what they can take from you, and the external of the person as far as what they look like. That is not a reason for you to be in a relationship with these people. And it's crazy to me that for years I thought something was wrong with me. I thought, well, why it is that I couldn't make friends? Why is it that, I'm looking at my sister, she got all these friends, and yet I'm by myself thinking something is wrong with me? When I realized it wasn't that it was anything wrong with me, it was just I should have went down another path. Instead of me worrying about men and worrying about friends, when I turned 18, I should have went to college. I should have went in the Air Force. I should have been a lawyer. I should have been whatever it was. I should have traveled. I should have seen the world. I should have been doing differently than what I did then. And now, because of that, the physical damage that I'm dealing with is now what's holding me back now. So it went from the mental and psychological to now the physical. Because now I'm having anxiety when I drive. I'm having neck issues at this point. I have digestive issues at this point. I have all these things medically going on and no answers. So now I'm at a standstill because my throat hurts. And y'all got to forgive me. I am under the weather, by the way. So now I'm going through all of these things that I can't explain why it's happening, but it's happening to me. When I started being alone was after my ex and I separated in 2015. And I dated two other dudes after that. And it ended up being a nightmare. Because these other two dudes were worse than the one I was dating for 7 years. And you know what also made me decide to talk about the subject was I was on Facebook and I was looking at my ex's page. Because it just popped up. You know how you see people suggested? He popped up. And so I decided to, just follow him. Well, I didn't follow him, but I looked at his page and it was no different than it was when we were together when he was saying that he was single. He was still the same person that he's always been. So imagine if I had stayed with him and we would have still been together. I wouldn't be where I'm at now. None of the blessings that I'm getting now, I would have never got if we would have stayed together. And then it also made me look at all my other exes, and I'm looking at what happened in the relationship. And mind you, I'm sick. Mind you, I am sitting up here sick, under the weather. But when you're under the weather, that's when you're the most clear. That's when you're seeing things for what they are, is when you're sick. Because you ain't got no choice, because you don't feel good. So when you don't feel good, you're like, you know what? I ain't doing nothing. You're going to be like Bruno Mars. Today I don't feel like doing anything. Nothing at all. That's it. Nothing. You don't feel like doing nothing. All you want to do is just lay in bed and be under a blanket. Even if you just watching a movie, you don't want to do nothing. And there are days that, when you're alone, you just want to be by yourself. There are people in this world that do not bring nobody in their drama. They don't bring their friends, their family, nobody in their mess. They deal with it on their own. That's what they do. There are people that don't use people, don't take advantage of people. There are people that if they fall, they just fall. They just hit rock bottom, get back up, brush themselves off, sit still, learn from what got them there in the first place, go back up there and learn from it. And each and every time, it's going to be harder and harder for them to hit rock bottom, because once they make it, they're not going back down there. Now, it took me being sick this particular time to come to the realization of a lot of things I just ain't going to put up with. And I'm not. And I did a video last night about women closing their legs and not running around showing off everything, and why it is that Black relationships don't work. At the end of the day, what I've learned in this journey of mine is that sometimes God is going to pull you from everything and everybody just so you can heal. Especially when you have been through so much damage and you've been through the story of Job. God is going to pull you away from all of that and going to put you in hibernation, a cocoon, and a isolation stage. Like he said, the cocoon stage is when you're prepping and you're learning and you're doing things to better yourself. And the cocoon, the hibernation stage, is when you go into deep sleep and all you're doing is just learning and growing and evolving and elevating. And that's pretty much what you're doing for the most part. You're not out here running around the world and you're pretty much just, doing you and being the best version of yourself. Now, a lot of y'all think that because you're alone, that means somebody don't like you. It does not mean that. It just means that you're alone because you are going to be doing something and you're going to be on a different journey that's not for everybody else. Now, there are people that are talking about how being alone has been a solution, and it is. You can be alone without being lonely. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think when you're alone, that means you're lonely. No, there's a reason why you are by yourself. Now, this one right here, this video I'm going to do is 17 minutes or 18 minutes, and it talks about why the chosen ones are alone with no friends. Now, mind you, I am using this video for educational purposes only. But before we get started in that, there's something, because I want to figure out what I'm going to start with as far as my Bible scriptures for today. And this is something that I saw that crossed my mind that I wanted to talk about. And this is about when an individual sins. And this is Leviticus. I never say this, 3:14. It says, and if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he does somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he has sinned comes to his knowledge, then he should bring his offering, a kid of a goat, and a female without blemish, for his sin which he hath sinned. And he shall lay his hands upon the herd of the sin offering and the slay of the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering, and the priest shall take the blood thereof with his fingers and put it upon the horns of the altar and burnt offering, and shall pour it out, all the blood thereof, at the bottom of the altar. And then he shall take away all of the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away. Hold on, y'all. Oops, I'm glad I'm okay. From the sacrifice of peace offering, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar for the sweet savory upon the Lord, and the priest shall make the anointment for him, and shall be forgiving him. And if he brings a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish, in other words, that has not been touched in any way sexually, and he shall lay his hands upon the head of the sin offering and slay it for the sin offering in the place where they killed the burnt offering. The priest shall take the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour it out all the blood, and thereon the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering, and the priest shall burn it therein upon the altar, according to the altar offerings made by the fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make the anointment of the sin that he has committed, and it shall be forgiven him. Now, you also have different types of offerings that the Lord during the time accepted. But this one, when it says, okay, there's another one. It says, sin against the Lord. And this is Leviticus 7:6. And it says 14, 15, and 16. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if the soul commits a trespass and the sin through ignorance, the holy thing of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flock, and thy estimation of the scales of silver after the scales of the sanctuary for the trespassing offering, and he shall amend for the harm that he have done in the holy thing, and shall add a fifth part thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an anointment for him with the ram of trespass offering, and it shall be forgiving him. Now, you have different things, and also they talk about sins that are knowing. So it's a different thing when it comes to that. So it says committing sins knowingly. It says, and this is the same thing, 6. And the Lord speaks unto Moses, saying, if the soul sins, committed a trespass against the Lord, and lie unto the neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or the fellowship, or things taken away by violence, or have deceived his neighbor, or has found that which is lost and length concerning it, and a swifted falsely, any of all of these that a man done sinning therein. So they talk about what happens when you commit a sin. So back to what I was saying. When you're sitting up here and you are trying to be the best version of yourself, and yet you got people that are making you go against God every single day, making you go against Jesus every single day, telling you that the Bible doesn't exist, having you committing crimes, having you drinking, smoking, having sex, having you do things that's going to put you in jail, doing something to unalive somebody, doing something to rob and steal from somebody, doing something sexual towards a person as far as fornication, basically getting somebody involved in something that has nothing to do with you, but you're getting involved because, and this is why people get involved in other people's business, either because you nosy, because you want to see them fall, or because you just want to help, or you just want to be accepted by these people who never accepted you in the first place. So give me a second. Let me do this video right quick, and then I'm going to share my screen and let y'all hear this, because this is 7 reasons why the chosen ones are alone. Now, understand, I'm probably going to stop and come in periodically and talk about this, but I wanted to do this video because I feel like it's something that we need to do. So give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have to worry about commercials, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So there's gonna be music in this, so it's probably gonna be copyright, but that's all right. I'll take the copyright. All right, y'all. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna put my. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put myself on mute, or I'm just gonna take myself completely out, so that way y'all can actually hear the video, because this video is the seven. This is why chosen ones are alone. This is why godly people are truly alone. I don't know why we're not taught this, but I really believe the reason that we're not taught this is because people want you to constantly keep focusing on other people. I think people are trying to keep people from being alone because of all the knowledge and all of the things you're going to find out that really are not true. So, I'm gonna take myself out and I'll be back and I'll come back periodically and we'll discuss these 7 reasons. So let's get to it.
Yourself alone, without many friends, and it's very difficult to find a partner. The reason for this, dear, is that you are very intelligent and bright. When you possess this light, anyone with darkness inside them can't get close, because you reveal the truth they're hiding. In this video, we'll explore the 7 reasons why the chosen ones often find themselves alone or single. Many chosen ones live without friends or partners, because the authenticity and light they possess makes those who aren't true run away. People don't want to be around you because your light exposes them. Even without knowing you, they feel your energy and run away. When it comes to relationships, this becomes even more difficult because your presence stimulates the people around you. All animals, including humans, pick up vibrations and frequencies, and you emit a frequency that changes the world. Unconsciously, people perceive this and can feel intimidated. As you increase your vibrational frequency, you begin to see things you've never seen before. You notice new things, and your tolerance for nonsense is lowered. You understand that your peace is a top priority. Certain people, friends, family, especially close relationships, can't be part of your life if they disturb your peace. You become more selective with whom you share your time and energy. Your inner circle may shrink, but it will be made up of those who respect and value your essence. It's a process of purification, where you keep by your side only those who contribute positively to your spiritual journey. Many people are alone, but they are excellent and powerful individuals. You are powerful, but you are alone because you are above the norms of this world.
Okay, let me stop right there for a minute. And the reason why that's important is because a lot of people don't know that. The reason why a lot of people are alone, because you're not supposed to be involved in any of this stuff in the first place. You're not even supposed to be involved with people that are negative. And God says a believer can never date or marry or be friends with a non-believer. But can you help them without being close to them? Yes. But you're not supposed to help them to the point of you losing yourself. And that's what people are doing. They're losing a part of themselves by helping other people. And a lot of people do run from you because of your aura. You're thinking it's because you're unattractive. No, it ain't got nothing to do with you being unattractive. It's because they're worried about what society thinks. And you hear it all the time where you hear people say, well, I can't date you because I'm worried about what everybody gonna think about you. That person's not dating everybody else. They're dating you. They're not dating everybody else and their mama, they're dating you. So why is it that you can't seem to grasp the fact that you have a very good person in your life, but these other people that are based upon society standards and based upon the secular world ain't doing nothing but pulling you down the rabbit hole? Anytime you follow people and you don't know where you're going, you're not getting all the information. These people are not paying your money back. You're paying for everything. You're the one doing everything right in the relationship. You're the one putting 100%, and this person is only putting in 10%. That's just like when I hear men say, it's about provide and protect. No, it's not. It's about a partnership. It is about being evenly yoked. But a lot of y'all don't seem to understand that. So because you're not of the norm, and because you're above the norm, in other words, you're above the fourth dimension, you're above the ghetto, ratchet, ignorant, stupid, dumb, negative behavior, you're above it. You're too intelligent to be involved with people that are not intelligent. You can't be with somebody that's not like you. As a godly person, you got to be with somebody that's also a believer, someone that's also a positive person, a person that y'all feed off each other, you help each other, and you give to each other, and you better each other. It's not one person pulling somebody down and somebody else being lifted up. And that's part of the problem. And this is also when in recovery, what you come to the realization of. You come to the realization that all these people you dealt with are people that were never on your level in the first place. You should never, as a godly person, lower yourself to be with other people. You just shouldn't. Why are you lowering yourself to be with other people? Why are you constantly going into darkness thinking that you can pull these negative people out into light? There are some negative people, you just got to leave them where they at. And you also got to move in silence, and you got to learn when to sit still, when to move. Because if you don't let God lead you in that, God, you're going to be going in the wrong direction. Not the direction that God put you in, but the direction that these demonic people that's leading you right smack dab to the devil is leading you to. Leading you right down the rabbit hole, like Alice did when she went in Wonderland. And then some of y'all will keep going down that rabbit hole, thinking you're going to get a different result when you go down the rabbit hole. You're not going to get a different result. You're going to get the same result. That's it. So if you're a person that is alone, take the time to be alone. Take the time to figure things out. Take the time to travel. Take the time. If you ain't got no kids, don't have none. If you're not in a relationship, it's okay. If you're a virgin, it's okay. You don't have to be in relationships with nobody. Just be by yourself. The best way to know how strong you are is when you are alone. Because you are not part of the norm. You are not a part of society standards. You're never going to fit society standards because you're a godly person. It ain't got nothing to do with you being ugly, fat, nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with that. You're just a godly person. That is it. And when you are a godly person, that's what you are. So you're not supposed to be involved in norm. You're not. You're supposed to be above it. You're not supposed to want to be anywhere where you're dealing with secular stuff. And you should never lower your standards because of the fact people telling you, oh, you need to lower your standards. You have high expectations. No, I'm not looking for somebody for what they look like. I'm looking for somebody based upon character. I'm looking for someone that is of God. I am looking for someone based upon God's standards, not about man's standards. I could care less if they're attractive or not. What I do care about is their character and what they do as far as their mental capacity, as far as the pros and cons, critical thinking, common sense, common judgment, when it comes to morals, values, principles, and ethics, when it comes to the consequences, repercussions, and karma, and is if when I'm not around them, what they do going to impact me. That's who I'm dating. I'm not dating someone because they're attractive. I'm not dating someone because they're a celebrity. I am dating that person because they're a person of God and they live their lives based upon God. I am dating a man that's not running around having sex with everybody and their God-forsaken mama. A man that basically is trying to work on himself. So let's continue the video. I'm going to take myself out again, and I'll see y'all when it comes to the next reason why being alone means you're a chosen one based upon God and being a godly person.
Many people who resonate at a higher frequency don't fit into this system. That's why we need a higher point of view. Nothing can hide from the light. Stay with me until the end to understand how these 7 reasons can be used for your self-discovery and spiritual evolution. Turn your loneliness into a powerful growth tool and attract relationships that truly resonate with your soul.
You know what nobody talks about when it comes to building a content creator business? That if you're not using a tool like HoneyBook to stay organized and professional in your communication,
The first reason why the chosen ones often find themselves single or alone is that too many people take away their energy. When you are chosen, your energy is unique and powerful, attracting many people around you. However, not all of these people have the ability to match your vibration. This creates an energy imbalance that can leave you exhausted. People close to you, be they family, friends, or partners, can unconsciously feed off your positive energy. They are attracted to your light and spirit, but at the same time, they can drain you without offering the reciprocity needed to maintain a healthy relationship. This constant energy drain can be exhausting and prevent you from maintaining deep and lasting connections. Finding someone who not only appreciates your light, but also contributes their own energy in a balanced way is a challenge. For the chosen ones, it is essential to have a person by your side who is on the same vibrational frequency, someone who can offer emotional and spiritual support without just benefiting from your energy. This search for an energetic balance means that many chosen ones prefer to be alone rather than in a relationship that doesn't nourish them properly. The universe demands that you have someone by your side who not only absorbs your light, but also returns and amplifies that energy. This kind of partner is rare, which is why many chosen ones find themselves alone. They wait patiently for someone who can really walk alongside them in a balanced and harmonious way. During this waiting period, it is crucial to focus on your own spiritual and personal development, strengthening yourself to attract the right person at the right time. The second reason is that few people.
All right, let's talk about that for a minute. That one right there is very important because there's a lot of people pleasers in this world. There's a lot of people that want to be loved, liked, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed to be a part of something, to be validated, approved of, to be accepted, for somebody to know your worth and proving something to people, as well as being captain, save a hole, build a barrel, build a doll, seat fillers, and people pleasers. As a godly person, even though you're doing the right thing, even though you want to help people, even though you want to be there for people, the problem is these people are vampires and they are sucking the life out of you. They are not there because of you. They're there because of what you bring. Most godly people are very responsible people. Most godly people, for the most part, got themselves together and they built their stuff from the ground up. They didn't have nobody to help them. They did it on their own. And these other people want to reap the benefits of their hard work. For example, you might have somebody that's dating somebody just because they want them to help them with their homework. And this might be somebody that's going to the NFL and the NBA. So this person might use this person just to help them get through school. You got people that date people just because they look good on their arm. You got people that are running around having sex with women they have no intentions of being with, have no intentions of dating, none of that. And they're just using people. People don't have to be attracted to you because you're what you wear or what you look like. Some people are drawn to you because of your energy, because of your aura, because of your positivity. It's just like with bullies. The fact that bullies are attracted to people who they think are basically weaker than them. It's not that the person is weaker than them. It's the fact that this person does not meet society standards and this person is a godly person, including a child. So a lot of times a person can be basically bothering somebody just because the fact that this person is smart, they're intelligent, they're talented, whatever the case may be. Jealousy and envy. So it doesn't have to necessarily be that you got to dress a certain way and be a certain way when it comes to money. No, there are other ways that things are and people are attracted to you. Some people are just attracted to you because of, what you have on. They might like your outfit. Some people are attracted to you because they're going to end up having you in human trafficking. Some people are attracted to you and they end up sexually assaulting your child. So you never know. There's different reasons why negativity is attracted to somebody that is a godly person. But at the end of the day, when it comes to spirits, it's completely different why those spirits are attracted to you. They're just using people to destroy your life in one way or another. So if you're a godly person, you need to understand that you may not be the person that gets men because of what you look like, but that doesn't mean you don't get men at all. You just get men because of your aura, because of your character. The problem is most of these people are just using you for what they can get from you, which is why a lot of people choose to be alone, because they've been hurt and they've been through so much, and they've been a godly person and they've done everything right, but yet these people still don't choose them, jobs still don't choose them, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna build my own business, my own brand. And that's what people are doing. They're building their own business, they're becoming content creators, they're building something and doing something that is going to be, a value of themselves. And now that they're successful, here come all these people that never want to be around them in the first place. And when Mike Jones said back then, you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you're all on me. I am not dating nobody that didn't want me when I was broke, that didn't want me when I was a certain shape or a certain size. No, I'm not losing weight because I'm trying to get a man. I'm losing weight because I want to be healthy. I'm not doing anything because of society standards. I'm doing it because of me. If God says come as I am, I'm coming as I am. Point blank, period. So let's continue this podcast. Let's continue.
Can truly help the chosen ones, and this is one of the reasons why many find themselves alone or single. The chosen ones have a spiritual and emotional depth that most people cannot reach or understand. They are able to help and inspire many around them, offering guidance, support, and light in times of need. However, when it comes to receiving help, the situation is quite different. Those who are chosen often need to internalize in order to find strength and motivation, as few people have the ability to offer the same level of support and understanding that they give to others. This creates a lonely journey, even when success is taking off and their skills are widely recognized. They may be surrounded by many, but still feel isolated, because most people are not equipped to deal with the depth of their spiritual and emotional needs. This forced isolation can be a painful experience, but it is also an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. The chosen ones learn to trust their own inner strength and find other enlightened souls who can offer the same quality of support and guidance that they need. Finding this kind of deep and meaningful connection takes time, but it is essential for their well-being and spiritual evolution. This is why many chosen ones prefer to remain alone until they meet those who can really help them and understand them on a deeper level. The third reason why
Okay, let's get into that. There are a lot of people that give out the kindness of their heart and they do not get back what they give. But yet, no matter what they go through, no matter what they lose, they're always able to get something better. I always tell people, if you lose something because somebody else, don't look at it as a loss. Look at it as a gain, because something else is coming in its place. So this old saying, if you were really valuing what somebody else took from you, you would never let somebody know you have it. You would never let anyone know what you have that is of value, because it's something that you intend to protect. So if you don't want somebody to know about your man, then you're not going to tell them about your man at all. You're not even going to bring up what he's like or what she's like. So, for example, even though your friends and family may not like your wife, but your wife treats you very well. But the problem is you don't want to be seen with her because of what everybody else gonna say about her. Now, understanding this girl could actually be able to help you as far as networking, but because of what she looks like, you want her to stay home and just sit here and do nothing. Oh, okay. So you have people that, even though godly people go through things and chosen ones go through things, they can stand alone. They don't need nobody to be with them unless that person chooses to be there and support them. But for the most part, they can do it themselves. These are people that's not sitting around waiting for somebody to give them a handout. These are people that know that basically, essentially, nobody's going to help them. Nobody's going to be there for them. Nobody's going to have their back except God and Jesus. That's it. And the angels and whoever else. and whatever beings are going to be there to help them. They know that people ain't going to give and do for them what they do for them, but at the same time, they're not going to sit out here and do what these people do to them. If anything, they're going to forgive them and keep it pushing, and that's what they're going to do, and that's what you're supposed to do as a godly person. Even if somebody wrongs you, understand that is something that's going to help you just in case it happens again. Because the problem is a lot of people don't learn from their mistakes. They just move on like it's nothing. Don't take time to be by themselves. Don't take time to learn from their mistakes and keep making the same mistake over and over and over again and ain't learned nothing at all. So that's important. So a godly person knows they're never going to get what they give. They're never going to have people do for them what they do for them. They're never going to have anybody on the same level as them. They're never going to have somebody who understands that I'm not asking you to fight my battles for me. I'm not asking you for nothing. All I'm asking you to do is just be supportive. That's it. Because they're going to fight that battle. And they're going to handle the battle the way they're supposed to. And the people that's meant to be in their life, God going to put them there. So they're not worried about whether or not they got people that's there for them or not. They have a higher power that's going to be there, and the people that are going to be under the higher power that's going to be there for them. So even if they don't get what everybody else get, even if they don't get chosen, they're not going to sit up here and get mad about it. They just realize that person wasn't meant for them. It's just now that it's going to be easier for you to say, you know what, that's cool. We can just be friends, no sex, no nothing. We ain't doing nothing like that. Point blank period. Well, let's continue to on number 3.
Why the chosen often find themselves alone or single is the need for inner healing. Being chosen usually means carrying deep wounds, often stemming from past experiences and childhood traumas that have not yet been completely healed. These wounds can create emotional blockages that make it difficult to form intimate and meaningful relationships. The energy of the planet, especially in times of spiritual transformation and ascension, often requires the chosen ones to face and heal these old hurts. During this process, the chosen ones may find that aspects of their childhood or painful events from the past resurface, bringing up emotions and memories that need to be released. This release is vital for their spiritual growth, but it can also be extremely challenging and lonely. Chosen ones are often highly sensitive, absorbing the energies around them like sponges. This sensitivity increases their need for a safe and secure environment where they can heal without outside interference. Being alone provides the necessary space for introspection and self-knowledge, allowing them to face their shadows and transform their wounds into wisdom and strength. During this period of healing, it is common for the chosen ones to feel isolated, as the healing journey is deeply personal, and not everyone around them will understand its intensity and depth. However, this isolation is temporary and prepares the chosen ones for future healthier and more balanced relationships. By healing their inner wounds, they become stronger and more aligned with their true essence, which eventually attracts people who resonate with their new high frequency. Therefore, the need for inner healing is a crucial and inevitable stage in the chosen one's journey, and is one of the main reasons why many find themselves alone during this phase of their lives. The kind of relationship that the chosen ones need takes time to materialize, and this is the 4th reason why many find themselves alone or single. The chosen ones have a...
Okay, y'all, let's talk about that for a minute. Why is that important? A lot of y'all have been through a lot. And I mean, I'm talking about godly people that have been through so much. You wonder, why in the world am I still here? How is it that after everything, I'm still standing? You remember I said in one of my podcasts that God is going to pull you away from the world because God is tired of seeing you being beaten down, tired of seeing you used, taken advantage of, being bamboozled, led astray, and God puts you in isolation. And you remember I told you that the physical damage comes from trauma, because you wouldn't have been in these situations if you wouldn't have been doing stuff for other people. So at the end of the day, what I want people to understand is you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. So by God pulling you away from the world and putting you into isolation in a hibernation stage, this is a healing stage. This is when people who are going through cancer and going through illnesses and going through things are researching and learning and growing and evolving and understanding how they got off the path they were supposed to get on in the first place. How did they end up going through this trauma? And instead of them confronting the people who wronged them, they're just choosing to deal with it on their own. There's no sense of confronting someone about what they did to you because most people are not going to acknowledge that they did it, and they certainly are going to make excuses as to why they did it. So there's no point of doing that. There's no point of asking somebody why they cheated on you. They did it because they wanted to. There's no other reason than that. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. Not everybody is going to, tell you the truth. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting away from the world and healing in all aspects, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. You need to do that. You need to heal. Healing is very important because if you don't heal, you're not going to grow and you're not going to evolve. And then, not only that, being alone, you ain't got nobody telling you how to go about doing it. Being alone, you're able to do that without somebody in your ear all the time. You can actually figure out what works for you. You're doing the research, you're doing the work, and to make yourself a better person. You don't need other people for that. All you need is yourself and God, and that's it, in the Bible. And sit down and read the Bible. If not, get you a Bible app and get a scripture for the day and read that scripture, and that's it. So you don't have to necessarily need validation from other people because when you are a godly person, you don't need validation. The only validation you want is from God. That's it. You don't want validation from anybody else. So taking the time to heal, taking the time to go into isolation, sometimes is very much needed because when you come out that isolation, you're going to come out like a butterfly. You're going to fly like a bird. And when you come out, the stuff that you're not going to put up with, a lot of people going to be scared of you because you're not going to put up with no nonsense. A lot of people not even going to bother you because they're not going to know what to do with you. You're a brand spanking new person. So, no. But let's continue. Number 4. And this one says the chosen ones have a high energy and vibration, which is true. We do. Anybody that is a chosen one is definitely a mental person, and they definitely are a psychological person. This is a person that, even though, yes, they do have feelings and they have emotions, they've learned emotional intelligence. They understand that basically, essentially, your emotions ain't going to do nothing but get you in a world of trouble. And you need to learn to think first and then react. Don't just react because somebody hurts your feelings or whatever it was that was done. Think first and then react. So let's get to the next one.
High energy and vibration, and this means that their partners also need to be on a similar frequency for the relationship to work harmoniously. It's not possible for the chosen ones to settle for superficial connections, or with people who don't share the same spiritual and emotional depth. Finding someone who truly resonates with a chosen one is a process that cannot be rushed. It takes time for the universe to align circumstances and bring into their lives a partner who is on the same level of consciousness and who can offer the emotional, spiritual, and energetic support needed. This search for deep compatibility is what makes waiting so challenging, but also essential. During this waiting period, the chosen ones often need to focus on their own growth and development. They have the opportunity to get to know themselves better, to explore their passions, and to strengthen their connection with the divine. This time alone is crucial to prepare the chosen ones for a meaningful and balanced relationship in the future. Rushing to find a partner can lead to unbalanced and unsatisfying connections that don't correspond to your deepest needs and desires. In addition, The universe uses this waiting time to shape and prepare the ideal partner of the chosen ones. Both individuals need to be ready and aligned before they can meet and build a lasting and meaningful relationship. This process of mutual preparation is essential to ensure that, when they finally come together, they are truly ready to support each other and grow together. Therefore, patience and acceptance of this waiting period are vital for the chosen ones. They need to trust that the universe is working in their favor, aligning energies and preparing the ground for a relationship that truly resonates with their soul. It is this search for a partner who is on the same vibrational frequency that explains why many chosen ones find themselves alone. But it also gives hope that a true and deep relationship is on the horizon. The fifth significant
This is why when I said last night in the podcast about women not having sex before marriage, women not dressing provocative and being more modest, there was a reason I said that. Because a lot of women don't understand you chasing behind a man does not mean that he's a man of God. It doesn't mean that he's a protector because he has money. It does not mean he's a provider. It just means that he has the external that looks like a provider or protector. He can also be a wolf in sheep's clothing, boy and girl that cry, wolves, sirens, vampires, and snakes. So, regardless of whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's friends, whether it's family, even a job, you need to sit still and be patient. Focus on yourself. Get yourself where you need to be. Like I said yesterday in that video that I did, I said you need to wait. Sit still and wait. Hang out with your friends. Be with your family. Don't worry about a man. No, none of these young girls should be worrying about no boy right now. And no young boy should be worrying about a young girl. So if both of them were raised not to have sex until marriage, then you'll be evenly yoked. But you're up here having sex with a man that's already had sex with another woman. And matter of fact, multiple women, you don't know what energy he's bringing to you. You have no idea what he's bringing to you. So what I'm saying to you is sit down and wait. Even though you might be 40 before you meet the love of your life, that is okay. Live your life. Pay your bills. See, society got y'all where you just keep wanting more and more and more and more and more. But yet still, me personally, I don't need much. I want the simple things. My husband could have all the money in the world. I still wouldn't want a Birkin bag. I don't want a Birkin bag, and I certainly do not want an expensive car that if something happened to us, our kids can't afford to pay for. No, I want it where it's paid off and all they gotta do is pay the taxes on it. At the end of the day, some of y'all are just doing stuff and just doing entirely too much. So when you are right now, if you're in a phase of your life where you might be ready for a relationship, but the problem is the people in society are not the people that's meant for you. So let me explain it in this way. Let's say you're someone that lives in, like for me, I live in North Carolina. Let's say the man that I was meant to be with was never in North Carolina. He was actually somewhere else. What would have happened if I'd have went into the military or I'd have moved out of state when I was younger? Imagine how my life would have been. How my life would have been different if I'd have stayed with my aunt versus staying with my parents when my aunt wanted me to stay with her. So what I want people to understand is sometimes your environment plays a very big part of why you need to sit still, because sometimes the people, the friends, the opportunities are not in the environment where you at. They're meant for something else. So while you're not having any kids and while you're not married, you're stacking up your money while you're living with your parents, paying whatever bills they want you to pay, stacking up your bills so you can going back to school and getting educated. So when you get ready to move, you do like I did. You stack up your money and then you move. And as soon as you get a job, you tell them you need 2 weeks to find a place. So you tell them you need at least 2 weeks to get yourself together. So what you do is you go ahead and you start looking for a place. Once you find a place, then you start looking for a job. As soon as you look for a job, you can let them know because you've already done your credit check, you've already done everything, and they already tell you, okay, you can move. Because once you get there, it may not be that hard for you to find a job. So if you got like an online job and you're in a place now where you can make serious money, now you can do that. Why? Because you took a leap of faith. And now that you're in where you need to be, the person that's meant for you is might be in that environment. Because like I said, I knew when I left that where I was going, I knew it was where I was meant to be. And I talked to my mom today and the same thing. She wants to come down here. My son wants to come down here. So again, sometimes you got to take a leap of faith. My sister did. Sometimes you just got to take a leap of faith, and where and who you with is a person that's meant for you. My sister took that leap and she's happy. And I took that leap and I'm happy. Just can't drive because I have anxiety. But that's all right because I'm dealing with these issues. I'm just sick today, unfortunately. That's why I'm not trying to do too much talking, y'all. I am really under the weather. I feel horrible. And I just took my antacid medication, and then I'm going to take some Theraflu and, try to get through whatever this is because I really would like to get through it. But let's continue. Let's continue. Number 5.
Significant reason why the chosen ones often find themselves alone or single is because they have been deeply wounded in the past. These traumas and emotional pains have created scars that don't fade easily. Being wounded can lead to a natural distrust of people and relationships, causing the chosen ones to protect themselves in order to avoid further disappointment and suffering. These wounds can come from various sources: past relationships, family experiences, friendships, or even difficult life circumstances. The chosen ones, because of their sensitive and empathetic nature, tend to feel these wounds more intensely and deeply. Often they carry these hurts for a long time, which can affect their ability to open up and trust another person fully. In addition, past wounds can create defensive behavior patterns. Chosen ones may unconsciously build barriers around their hearts to protect themselves from further hurt. These defense mechanisms, while understandable, also prevent new deep and meaningful connections from forming. Past pain can lead to a hesitancy to get emotionally involved, resulting in prolonged periods of loneliness. The process of healing these wounds is complex and often requires a lot of time and effort. The chosen ones need to dedicate themselves to self-knowledge and self-acceptance, facing and releasing the pain of the past. This can involve therapy, meditation, spiritual practices, and above all, a deep inner dive to recognize and integrate these painful experiences. During this healing process, solitude can be both a blessing and a challenge. Being alone allows the chosen ones the necessary space to face their pain without the distractions of a relationship. However, it can also be a period of intense vulnerability and introspection, where external support is limited. This healing journey is essential, so that the chosen ones can eventually open up to new relationships in a healthy way. Healing from past wounds is a crucial step towards attracting a partner who can understand and respect their emotional depth. It is only when the chosen ones feel whole and healed that they are truly ready to share their lives with someone who resonates with their soul. The 6th reason why the chosen often...
All right, let's get into it. Now, godly people, when I tell you, you go through it, you go through it. And a lot of people don't understand why, when you get older, you're more and more going to be alone. The hardest thing to accept is that you should have never went down the road you went down in the first place. When you realize this whole entire time that you were never supposed to be a part of society standards. That was a blow to me. When I realized I never fit in, and now I understand why. I understand why my flaws and imperfections are what they are. I now understand why they're there. My flaws or imperfections are to protect me as a godly person from people that are not supposed to be around me. No way. So what that pretty much means is that basically, essentially, me being unattractive, me having flaws and imperfections, it just means not everybody's meant for me. God made, and I'm not saying that I'm unattractive in the eyes of God, but in the eyes of society, I don't fit society standards, and I'm okay with that. But it took me going through this journey that we're talking about right now and understanding why I'm alone is why it doesn't bother me no more. It don't mean that there are not days that I'm lonely and I'm like, I wish I had a husband, I wish I had this. There are times where I feel like that, I wish I had extra money, I wish I could travel, I wish I didn't have to work a regular 9 to 5 job. Everybody feels like that. I wish that I would have had kids later on in life. I wish I would have not had a baby with the man that I had a child by. I wish I would have never had sex. Man, it's a lot of things we wish we never did. Those coulda, shoulda, wouldas that we didn't do. We chose not to do those things. But when God says this ain't the person for you, that's the one being you need to listen to. So yeah, the reason why most people that are godly people are alone is because they're wounded. They have so much pain to the point where they're so cautious of their time, their energy, and who they give it to. You realize that you wasted so many times on people that ain't even worth you. That's why you have men and women alike that are both becoming celibate. Men and women alike who are alone because they just don't have time for all the nonsense. People are tired. They are sick and tired of being sick and tired. But let's get into number 6. So yes, let's get into it. This is a very interesting video, and I'm kind of glad I found it.
And find themselves alone or single is to prepare for something greater. When you are chosen, the universe has a grand purpose for your life, and this preparation often involves periods of isolation. During these moments of solitude, you are being shaped and perfected to fulfill a significant and influential destiny. These periods of solitude are not accidental, but intentional. The universe uses these times to strengthen your connection with the divine, hone your skills, and increase your resilience. Without the distractions and external influences of a relationship, you can focus fully on your personal and spiritual growth. This is a time to deepen your self-knowledge, explore your passions, and strengthen your faith. In addition, solitude allows you to align with your true essence and life purpose. This alignment is crucial if you are to fulfill your chosen role fully and effectively. During this period, you may receive important insights and revelations about your path and your mission, things that could be obscured by the constant presence of other people in your life. Another essential part of this preparation is the need to be energetically ready for the next chapter of your life. The universe is preparing not only you, but also those who will be part of your future journey. Your future partner, friends, and allies are going through their own phases of growth and alignment. When everyone is ready, the meeting will take place at the perfect moment, with everyone involved, prepared to support each other in a meaningful way. Solitude also serves to test and strengthen your emotional independence. By learning to be happy and complete on your own, you develop a solid foundation of self-confidence and self-love. This is vital for any future relationship, as you won't depend on the other person to validate your existence or happiness. Instead, you will enter any future relationship as a whole individual, ready to share your life in a balanced and healthy way. The depth of the soul of the chosen is something that many cannot understand or accept, and this is the 7th reason why the chosen often find themselves alone or single. When you are
Let's talk about that for a minute. A lot of y'all don't understand that God pulls you away from things and things are taken from you because there is something better and something greater that you're going to be dealing with. Now, There are a lot of people that's going through a lot of negativity like right now, and they end up committing suicide. They end up unaliving themselves. They end up on drugs, alcohol, codependency. So I'll use DMX for example. DMX has been on drugs. Demi Lovato has been on drugs. You have a lot of celebrities that have really been through a lot, and they had it all and lost it all. You got people right now still struggling with drugs even to this day, and even struggling with their identities. The reason why this is happening because you're not supposed to be a part of society standards anyway. It's just like people that are talking about being transgender and they want to change their gender. You don't have to change your gender in order to be who you are. I just think that's stupid. If you were born a girl, you were born a girl. If you were born a boy, you were born a boy. You don't have to change your gender in order to feel whatever you feel or to dress however you dress. Because here's the thing, when you get older, there are a lot of kids that want to transition back. And that's my point. I wouldn't transition. You don't need to transition. If you want to wear women's clothes, wear women's clothes. But that does not mean you have to change your whole entire gender to do something which is not natural. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that question their sexuality and they still ended up remaining what they were. At the end of the day, like I said, to go and just do something and not even knowing if that's what you're supposed to do, that's not good at all. It's just like a lot of people that are gay that end up going back to being heterosexual. Same thing. At the end of the day, this is your journey, not mine. I'm not here to judge. But all I'm saying is maybe, just maybe, you're questioning your sexuality for a whole different reason. And that's why when people say, people are born gay, no, you are only born a girl or a boy. That's it. You're not born anything. Based on what you're taught determines what you want to be. Based on what you went through determines where you want to be. So the whole point of this number 6 and why it's so important is because sometimes you don't went from being lost and got lost somewhere, and now you're being found, and now you done changed your whole entire body, and now you're regretting it because you were like, I should have just been a boy. I should have just been who I was. It's like everybody wants to be everything except who they are. And that's the thing that's the most important about recovery and healing, is to be the person you want to be. So now you ain't got to worry about nobody, you don't care about what nobody thinks about you. I come on camera as I am. No hair, no fake nails, I got fake nails on now. But that's because I like these nails they did. But I'm not running around here with fake hair on. I'm not running around here getting plastic surgery. I ain't doing none of that. I'm content in the body that I'm in, even though I'm going through medical issues. But I'm going to sit through it. I'm going to sit through these medical issues. I'm going to do what I need to do to be healthy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that's going to be hard, but I'm not going to commit suicide because I'm going through these health issues. I'm going to continue every day to be the best version of myself, continuing to pray, continuing to do God's work, even though I don't feel well today. But guess what? I'm doing God's work today because it's Sunday. So at the end of the day, yes, it is one of the most hardest journeys in the world. But God is preparing you for something greater. So it's okay if you lost all those things. It's okay that all this stuff happened. The point is, God is pulling you from everything and everybody else, putting you by yourself to be the person that you are actually supposed to be. Once you figure that out, you ain't going back to the person that you were. That person is gone. Long gone. So it's okay to sit still. It's okay to wait. It's okay to just, whatever you can control, do that. But stay on the path that God put you on, based on Jesus' leadership, or whatever your religion is, or whether your faith is. So I don't discriminate when it comes to faith or when it comes to religion. Excuse me, everybody has different religions, and that's okay too. I have acid reflux. I hate having acid reflux. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, let's continue. Number 7.
Chosen, you carry with you a profound wisdom and understanding of life and the universe, which can be intimidating for those who have not yet reached this level of awareness. The depth of your soul manifests itself in your ability to see beyond superficial appearances, to understand underlying motivations, and to sense the energies around you. This keen perception can make others feel exposed and vulnerable in your presence, because they realize that you can see beyond the masks they wear. Many people prefer to avoid this transparency, choosing to stand back rather than face their own truths. In addition, chosen ones have a natural tendency to seek deep and meaningful connections. Superficial relationships and trivial conversations don't satisfy their emotional and spiritual needs. They crave authentic and truthful interactions, where they can share their innermost ideas and feelings. However, many people are not ready or willing to dive into this depth, preferring to stay on the surface where they feel safer. The intensity of their presence can also be overwhelming for those who are not used to such powerful energy. Your passion, dedication, and commitment to truth and justice can seem excessive to some, making them feel uncomfortable or inadequate. This can result in a natural distancing, as people prefer to keep their distance from something they cannot understand or control. This depth of soul is not only a challenge, but also a blessing. So, my friends, this video brings us to a deep understanding that the loneliness of the chosen is not a burden, but a divine preparation for something greater. Being chosen means that the universe is shaping you, aligning your spirit, and strengthening your essence for the great purpose you must fulfill. It is a path that requires patience, introspection, and healing. Remember, being alone doesn't mean being abandoned. This solitary journey is an opportunity for you to connect deeply with your true essence and prepare yourself for love and relationships that truly resonate with your soul. The loneliness you feel is temporary and is preparing the ground for a future where you can share your light and energy with those who truly understand and appreciate your depth. If you agree with this, go ahead and type it in the comments and like the video to help spread this message. Your participation not only helps the video appear in the algorithm, but also reinforces our community of chosen souls, strengthening our collective purpose. Thank you for watching to the end. Your journey is important, and your light is needed in the world. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more videos on spirituality and evolution.
The video, so I'm gonna jump around my screen. So I hope you guys learned something today. That just because you're alone does not mean something's wrong with you. It just means you're being prepped for something greater. It just means that everything is meant for you is going to come later. Some people it's going to come sooner. Some people are going to come later. Some people may not get married to their 40 and they may not have their first child till they're 45. Nothing wrong with that. But everybody's pushing this thing about being alone, being young, and your youth is about learning and growing and evolving and elevating. That is what it's about. I don't know why people don't seem to understand that, but they don't. And the sad part about it is they really believe that, it's about being young. Nope, it's about getting older. And as you get older, you're supposed to be better than what you were before. So a lot of people don't understand that. Everybody thinks, oh, it's about having, it's all about, money and having all of these things. That's not what it's about at all. It also in the Bible, it talks about people becoming unclean. And this is Leviticus 11:45, and this is 14 to 24 to 28. And for all of these ye shall sin shall be unclean. Whoever touched the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. And those whoever's and whoever's beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening, when the carcass of the beast which divides the hoof is not clove floated, nor chewed the curd are unclean until you. Everyone that touches them shall be unclean, and whoever goes upon his paws among all the manner of the beasts and go on all four, those are unclean until you. Whoso touch the carcass shall be unclean until the evening, and he has breathed the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening, and they are unclean until you. So I want people to understand that sometimes you're going to have to understand that not everything is what it is. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself. They even talk about the sins of incest. So there was something I saw that got my attention. Which one was it? Which one was it? I can't. Oh, the penalties for sinning. Now, this is important because again, when you start getting to the Bible, you're starting to read, and this is important. It says, and this is Leviticus 19:18. This is 20, and this is 1 through 8. And it says, again, thou shalt saying the children of Israel, whoever's he be of the children of Israel, or strangers that sojourn of Israel, or the stranger that sojourn in Israel, that give any of his seeds unto Moloch, he shall surely be put to death, and the people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he had given his seed to the Moloch, and defiled my sanctuary, and profaned my holy name. And if the people of the land do any way hide his eyes from the man, when he'd given his seed to the Moloch, and kill him not, I will set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off, and I will give him and all that will go the whoring after him, to commit whoredom at the Moloch, for among their people, and the souls of the turned after such as have familiar spirits, and after the wiz has familiar spirit, no, after wizards, to go whoring after them. I will even set my face against the soul, and will cut him off from his people. The sanctify yourself, therefore, and be ye holy. For I am the Lord your God, and ye shall keep my statutes and do them, and I am the Lord which sanctions you. So there are a lot of penalties about so many things in this Bible, like more penalties for law breaking, about a man that's having sex with his daughter, a woman having sex with another man. Um, about, it's a lot. So I might read the more penalties when it comes to consequences and repercussions, because there are a lot of consequences and repercussions in here. So I want people to understand that being alone is not what y'all think it is. It ain't as bad as you think it is. If anything, sometimes it's for the best for you. Sometimes you need to be alone to figure things out. Sometimes you need to be alone to be the best version of yourself. So there's nothing wrong with being alone and figuring things out. There's nothing wrong with being alone and basically doing for yourself to see what you can do on your own. And then when God brings the people in your life, you're ready for them. Because a lot of y'all are not ready for the people that come into your life. You're not ready for them. A lot of y'all sit up here and pretend like you are, but in all actuality, you're not ready for these people. You're really not. You're not ready for these people that actually going to come into your world. If anything, you're not going to appreciate them because they're not going to come in the manner that is society standards. So again, while you're alone, work on your past issues, work on your pain, work on your emotional intelligence, work on the things that you're not going to put up with, work on your standards, deprogram yourself of all the things you learn, research the things you learn, and deprogram things that don't serve you. Sometimes we have to deprogram the mind because in order to make better choices based upon actions and decision, the actions and behavior, our decision and choices got to be better. So we have to make sure we process all information, make sure we research everything. Don't let nobody sit there and influence you or make somebody rush your decision. Take your time, make sure it feels right to you. If it doesn't, then don't do it. And there's nothing wrong with not doing something you don't feel comfortable with. And just because other people have a problem with it, that is their problem, not yours. That is not your problem. And if people can't accept you for who you are and love you for who you are, then those are not people you need to deal with anyway. If a person cannot accept the fact you're not ready for sex and you're not trying to be another notch on a man's belt and he can't respect that, then he's not the person for you anyway. And this comes from my own healing. So I wanted to play that video because I felt like it was something that was very important that we needed to listen to because I even learned a lot. So even though I may play a video, it doesn't mean that I don't learn from it because trust and believe I am learning. So you're supposed to learn about being alone. And even certain people talk about how being alone is a superpower. So, you know, it's not easy. It's not. But it is okay if you are alone. It's okay with, the fact that you're just choosing to be isolated. Because most people that are the chosen ones are choosing to be isolated. They're choosing to not deal with all this other nonsense. They're choosing not to be a part of society standards. They're choosing themselves. They're choosing a spiritual peace and tranquility that they just don't want to get rid of. Who wants to basically deal with a bunch of negativity that they really don't want to deal with? Who wants to deal with other people's problems? And I'm dealing with the consequences, repercussions, and karma of it. So at the end of the day, I hear men all the time saying, "Where the good women at home?" Opposite word, godly women, not good women. Where are the godly women? I never hear men say, where are the godly women at?" They always say, "Where are the good women?" You mean the good looking women? The good fitting women? So men will say, "I want a godly woman." No, they don't, because they feel like godly women are too boring. No, they want the harlot, the succubus, and the siren and the Jezebel. That's what they want. And at the end of the day, as a woman, eventually you're gonna be like, "You know what? I'm gonna let you have what you want." If that's really, truly speaking, what you want, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna argue with you about it. I'm gonna let it be exactly what it is, and that is it on that. Because people don't have time to sit up here and constantly keep getting their heart broken every single time. People can't continue helping people that don't want to help themselves. You only can help those that want to help you. So with that being said, I really appreciate y'all for joining me for this episode because I'm glad we had this conversation because this conversation absolutely needed to be had. So, with that being said, I hope you guys learned something from this podcast. I hope you guys grow from this podcast. I hope for those of you going through your recovery and your healing process, I hope this helps you on it. I really do. Because I want you to be the best versions of yourselves. I want you to meet new people and just sit back and wait for whatever God has in store for you. Because whatever He has in store for you could be something that can be very beautiful and very great. So, with that being said, I'll see y'all later. Just think about it like this here. You may not know what's going to happen tomorrow. You may not know what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. Just be thankful that you're alive another day. Just be thankful that everything you're going through you made it through. You made it through the adversity. You made it to the light at the end of the tunnel. The question is, are you going to stay in the light, or are you going to continue to go down the rabbit hole, keep going to Wonderland, keep going to the Wizard of Oz, whichever one you want to go to? Because now you're going to be like, little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, I'm going to huff and puff and blow your house down. Well, you're going to be huffing for a while because I'm not opening my door. That's where a lot of godly people are now. They're not letting negativity in unless it's professional. That's it. We're only helping those who want to help themselves. And with that being said, that is it for me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. With that being said, see y'all next time. Bye.